Hey, folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Podcast. It's a show where each week we're going to be sitting down with Vincent Daly to get his thoughts on the latest movies he's been watching, both older films and new releases. And don't worry, there's no spoilers. Vince will give a brief review of the movie, share some thoughts, and of course, then rate the film. The daily ratings are always fair, honest, and most importantly, they're consistent. On today's show, Vince will be rating and reviewing. We are headed over to Netflix for this entire week, folks. We are starting with K-Pop Demon Hunters, directed by Maggie Kang and Chris Applehouse. Yes, we're finally covering it. We're then doing a small movie called Train Dreams. That's directed by Clint Bentley. And finally, Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Again, all over on Netflix. That one is directed by Rian Johnson. Let's get Vincent Daly in the room, hear what he has to say about these films. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. Mr. Vincent Daly, how are we doing across the table, my friend?
Thomas, how's it going?
It's going okay for me. We went on to Netflix. We had a different array of movies.
Yeah.
A quiet, small movie, very indie. We had the big one, Wake Up Dead Man, which has been talked about all year.
Yep. Oh, and we had the big one.
And then we had the big one.
I think there's a bigger one.
I know. There's a producer out there that's very happy, too. We got K-Pop Demon Hunters. I tried.
About damn time.
I held that gate closed for as long as I possibly could. I mean, the silver lining is I didn't have to go to the theater to see this.
Sure, right. It was very
easy. I could stay
easy.
in the confine of my own house.
And not be embarrassed.
And sure,
I actually had to put my headphones on because I was worried I was blasting K-pop. I was like, ooh. Neighbors walking by.
I watched all three of these, though.
Yeah, okay.
And happy I did, I guess. And excited to talk about about them with you. How was your week, though? How'd you do?
I would say, as much as we badmouth Netflix, it was a pretty good week, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought this was like...
Let me jump in right away.
Oh, sure.
Okay. I believe K-Pop Demon Hunters was a Sony property that Netflix just licensed from them.
Yes, but Sony gave up on the project.
Yes, they did. Okay, yes.
Yeah, I don't know exactly running it back, but something with Sony doing a cash deal with Netflix in 2021.
Yeah.
Kind of panicking during, COVID and whatnot. And I guess Netflix just had cream of the crop of their properties, K-Pop Demon Hunters being one.
Just saying.
Sony basically just gave it up for a cash deal.
I'm just saying it was a thing not created over there by Netflix.
Oh,
okay. That's all I'm trying to say. Because you're just like, Netflix. Let's say shit on Netflix. Netflix doing pretty good. I'm just saying, okay.
I mean, technically in that note, Train Dream as well, because they picked it up from Sundance.
Okay, boom, you're stealing my material over here. Right, so Sundance, it came out very, very earlier in the year.
Yep.
And of course, Sundance is just something where all the distributors can go to and try to pick up stuff last minute and to get on their own studios. So Train Dreams was a very independent film, but only found now on Netflix.
Yeah, so
Netflix can put the N on the cover.
Exactly. Yeah, the real credit that Netflix can claim is for Wake Up Dead Man.
Yes, exactly.
And their partnership with good old Rian Johnson. I'll tell you what,
Coming to a close.
So there's not going to be a fourth.
Well, if there is a fourth, it will not be with Netflix.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been talking about this now for a bit.
Yes, I remember that.
But Rian Johnson is done with Netflix because of the theatrical release schedule.
Yes.
Or the lack thereof.
Yep, kind of butting heads over that. I listened back to our Glass Onion review, and the amount that you, tear Rian Johnson apart is so funny. I literally say in the review, well, you grinded the axe and killed him for me. I mean, I did...
I mean, that was Glass Onion was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
It's like episode 60 something. I mean, real going back now.
So first of all, I mean, we were a little bit closer to Last Jedi.
Yes,
at least 2 years closer to Last Jedi.
The pain of Last Jedi.
Pain was real. I mean, I was really going through the Star Wars at that time.
Oh, okay.
And I had some serious Rian Johnson issues. Still do, but he's been slowly getting on my better side But also, I'm trying to stay away. I'm trying to have a healthy distance.
Yeah.
Arm's length distance
Not get
relationship
overhyped.
with Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
Right?
I like that.
He did come out recently. I think it was this past week. And he made a comment saying that along the lines of, the quote was along the lines of, Star Wars needs to shake things up. Kind of like how he did on Last Jedi. And it's just like, bruh.
Yeah, a little bit too much of a shake-up.
Yeah, are you kidding me? So
a little bit too much of a shaking of Carrie Fisher in that movie.
I really get along with anybody. When you get in a room with people, I like people.
You called him a creep on the Glass Onion review.
It's that laugh of his. I'm sorry, but you listen to his laugh.
He's a little creepy.
So there was a couple other things. I was watching him on the press tour, and I'm like, there is a thing. There is a thing about him.
There's something there's a little bit of red flag here.
Anyway, I'll holster, I'll sheath the axe for the episode, I guess. And, I don't mind the Knives Out movies anyway. Again, I was the one out of the two of us that was kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, we'll get into it, but I feel like this new one is more confident than ever, and I'm almost on every level. I'll point to Daniel Craig.
Oh, that's interesting.
Who we've kind of, we both root for Daniel Craig, but this accent work is like really like it's a wild swing.
Did you not? Have you talked about this in the last one?
Yeah, that I don't really dig the Benoit Blanc, Southern drawl.
I did not go back and listen. I was on board with it, right?
I think so.
There's no way I shit on Daniel Craig in any way, shape, or form. I don't think you should.
But I think you said it's a choice. I feel like even in this though, in this wacky character, it feels more comfortable in its own skin than ever. Comfortable even in Rian Johnson's cringy writing.
No,
very
for sure.
Comfortable in its
you
skin.
could, and he is the sole director, writer. No other writers on this.
Yep.
You could also say too that this movie is a little bit more aesthetically contained and quieter. Mm-hmm. It's just something about the Glass Onion was gorging itself.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I just think, we're in a church for most of this one, and something about that Southern drawl just works a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But we'll talk about them when we cover it. I was thinking while watching it, it's funny because if Daniel Craig is doing an American accent, we only see him in basically Southern form. So we have the Knives Out 3 movies, right?
Yep.
And then we have Logan Lucky. Mm-hmm. He has a Southern drawl in that one.
You're right.
And then we have Cowboys and Aliens,
which is a cowboy.
Which is a cowboy kind of Southern accent.
He wants to be American though.
Can you? He lives in New York about 6 months. He doesn't live in L.A. It's New York 6 months. I think London 6 months. He's an East Coast boy.
He's not a Philly boy, but
yeah, not a Keystone darling. What did I say in my head? I was calling him Keystone Cuties. I was trying to think of all the actors that came from Pennsylvania, and I put him in Keystone Cuties.
That's great.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man.
Anyway, can you name a movie where do we know him doing an American accent? What's the one with Deakins was the DP, Tom Hanks, Ian McKellen might have been in it.
Tom Hanks?
Yeah. Something, 2002. Come on, he was like young. You got a young Craig.
Munich.
No. That's 2005. Okay. And that's it. He's British in that one.
Yeah, and also Tom Hanks is not in that.
No. Doesn't he play Tom Hanks' kid?
Wait, no way.
We covered it on the podcast. Tom Hanks
really?
And Daniel.
Oh, no, Road to Perdition.
Yes, Road to Perdition. There you go.
Yes, he is. I want to say he's an American gangster in that.
Surprisingly, I have not seen that one.
Yeah.
Regardless, I don't know. It's just my, we get him with he's always doing a Southern accent. That's my biggest thing.
It's one or the other.
Different with every character, too.
Yeah.
Okay, other than that, any opening notes for K-pop Train Dreams or get into it? What do you want?
No, we can get into it. You want to start with K-pop?
I do want to start with K-pop, directed by Maggie Kang, who also was one of the main writers on it, and Chris Applehouse. So.
Yeah, Kang is really the creative mind around this.
Yeah, it seems like it.
This is really her baby for it.
Some of the cast people on this are even kind of noticeable. We have our main 3 gals. The actor voices are not the singing voices.
Yes.
I guess that's not too shocking.
And there's also a switch up for the Korean voices and then the Korean singing voices as well.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, all right. It's rated PG. It's definitely a kids' movie. It's only an hour and 35 minutes, which was, when I saw that, I said, okay, I can do it.
He can stomach it.
Let's get into it, though. K-Pop Demon Hunters. It officially kind of came out a few months ago or during the summer, and it's still always highly, highly rated. I do have to ask you, which version did you watch? Did you watch the normal movie? Did you watch the sing-along? Or did you watch the karaoke version?
No, I just watched the normal
Okay,
one.
all right.
I didn't find that on Netflix as an offering.
You look up K-pop Demon Hunters.
And there's the sing-along already.
3 options there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, go figure.
Okay.
Well, officially, it is too big to ignore for the year. K-Pop Demon Hunters has been a golden egg that Netflix was happy to have in their catalog, but hear me out on a few things before we get into this. One, K-pop, it might not be your bag, but like any genre of music, it has gems that are worth discovering, even if you think you might not like it. I'll put a steep $20 bounty on someone donating in if you want to hear my list of favorite K-pop groups, but until then, my lips are sealed.
You want to donate $200, you'll get mine.
There we go. 2, I would say never doubt the power of just entrenched internet fandoms to blow up an IP. No less K-pop fandoms, K-pop stans online. Sony must be kicking themselves to death over the fact that they sold this project off prematurely.
It's so true.
And I really do think this is yet another lesson in money talks, as it does with any of the hit IPs over the last 3 years. I even somewhere kind of point to Mario and like the video game rise of like really hyper successful video game movies with this. And lastly, third, like I said on a previous episode, this belongs to the formula of kick-ass girls, which are some of the best examples you can ask for in the animation medium. If you enjoy Powerpuff Girls, if you enjoy Sailor Moon, you know how legit great these properties are, and K-Pop Demon Hunters belongs in that ranking. K-Pop Demon Hunters is an animated family musical, which, in a year with record-breaking family films, might be one of the best 2025 has to offer. And like the movie says, the internet loves this, and the internet is never wrong. For ages, hunters have driven back the rise of demons, serving as more than warriors, being generational voices that create a magical barrier called the Hun Moon. The current mantle is held by the 3 members of Huntrix, a K-pop megagroup comprised of Mira, the bad girl persona, Zoe, the cute bubbly one, and Rumi, the born pop star leader of the band. The forces of the underworld have to try a new strategy this time around, though, sending a demon boy band to steal away their fans, the Saja Boys. But this common occupation brings both new understanding and confusion as secrets are revealed around these mystical hunters. I think where this worked for me was in just like the near constant visual comedy that the animation goes for. More often than not being the most I've actually probably laughed at a movie this year.
Really?
Yeah, no joke. I thought this was like really sharp in its comedy.
Yeah, no, it was. It had some things. Had some. Yeah.
And sharp in a way that I want to see from animation. And I specifically really haven't seen in animation for this year and maybe even going back last year as well. This could be anything, folks, from funny cuts in the edit, really good timing of some line delivery, and even with a lot of flashy action sequences, there are always jokes being strung throughout it. All over this movie, though, you can feel the personality of its creators come bleeding through. And it works, I think, on a level that even if you're not picking up every reference possible, you're still able to catch the comedy being attempted here. Even if you're not able to, I don't know, they flash to like a very typical Asian game show where they're doing like ridiculous things on stage. Even if you have no grasp of like, wow, these actually game shows really exist and they are insane and ridiculous. Right, yeah. It's still really, really funny on its own. I feel like the best example for me comes at 29 minutes in on the dot with what I'll call the metal battle ready transition. And seriously, it has to be one of the funniest bits I've seen all year. This would be the bit. Like, if I was in the writing room, I would throw this out to see if it sticks. I mean, it's so sharp looking, it's genuinely funny, and again, it's all in the visual comedy of the edit that the joke comes across.
This makes sense. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And, I mean, maybe I wasn't sitting on the couch laughing out loud by myself, but
there's a lot of cuteness to it.
And it makes sense because it's almost a little Edgar Wrighty with the editing.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. Something I wish Running Man had.
I know.
Pick the scab on that. But yeah, this is so my ballpark when it comes to how I want visual comedy to be done.
Yeah.
And it's most often through that edit, but I feel like there's a lot that goes into the success of this. And again, I can't stress enough, folks, just in the same way with like the K-pop music might not be your bag, might be something that you really turn away at. You don't have to be on the inside track to enjoy this movie for that reason. So, but I would say mostly, despite this being 3D animation, the film operates with very classic cartoon and anime tricks. The comedy comes across in overreactions, big emotions to our characters. Character design is fluid. They morph around for comedic effect. They change, and the faces are constantly changing. And maybe key to pulling it all off is a little bit of slapstick tone that doesn't take itself too seriously. In this kind of slapstick tone, not taking itself too seriously, I feel like this movie achieves a likability that honestly Disney and Pixar wish they could have done for 3 years running.
Okay, all right,
I mean?
yeah.
Like, this reminded me of something that if we got it from Disney or Pixar, it'd be like, oh my God, they're back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're coming off the week of Zootopia hitting well over $1 billion.
Right.
So there's some wins in there for some companies.
Right.
But I especially, this is like a tween audience big time.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. It has maybe a touch more edge than
it does, and it just
Prime
obviously has,
Disney.
and it just has a loudness to it as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you were digging it, and I think the style and the quickness only helps it.
Yeah.
In this situation with a movie like this, like keep it going, keep them entertained, flashing lights. I mean, yeah, it has we should just say it has an energy to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some of that comes into the rhythm of the pacing. I think a lot of that is secured by just like the likability of this trio directly.
Yeah.
I loved all three of these. And again, that kind of plays into the roots of what this is going for. Powerpuff Girls, Sailor Moon, the magical girls subgenre of this. Like,
I think
that's what I feel like they really hit out of the park.
Even for me, I have to say, I like the female-based K-pop rather than boy band K-pop.
Sure, right?
Because I was thinking about this while watching. So I was
almost couldn't get it out of my mind.
I can't say that. I can't say that this movie held me. You know what I mean? I was drifting a little bit, but
okay.
for the show, stay tuned, stay in it. Actually, I'll first start with that animation style.
Oh yeah,
I was automatically just expecting better animation.
Oh,
it was
okay.
very basic show quality, kind of cheapish show quality. I just thought it was going to be a little bit. Not as maybe blocky, not as basic 3D animation. I was expecting a little bit more detail with the characters.
Sure.
So right away, I felt more detached than I was expecting because of the simplicity of the animation. Anyway, when it comes to female K-pop, well, boy K-pop, they're all just like such feminine boys in real life and in the movie. I mean, the movie is real life.
Yeah.
And then, but it seems like all, for the most part, just like girl K-pop, they're trying to be. I was comparing it to like you take the director Howard Hawks and the classic Western. The way he,
I don't think you can.
I'll land the plane. Let me land the plane. I consider the female K-pop to be very like Hawksian women because there's a style of woman character which is a Hawksian female character type.
Okay, all right.
And this is a thing that's known because or maybe women were portrayed as just basic housewife stuff.
Okay, right.
For frontier and Western movies. What Howard Hawks did, he would write women he would still keep them very feminine, but very strong.
Yeah,
right? Very strong in their ways.
Right.
Not strong in their ways, but independent, strong-willed women that made strong, good, deeper characters.
More than just like an outline.
And those became known as Hawksian women. So then when I look at K-pop, you see very feminine like girls and women that they're going for, correct? Yeah. And yet they always are giving badass personalities and personas in anime and in real life.
Absolutely, in
and it's
anime
like, okay,
too.
I kind of like these badass girls because they're not trying to be John Wick, right? Which is a different type of let's put female characters in just a male role.
Yeah.
It's a female character in a very good Hawksian female role, and it just K-pop. I just kind of scratches that itch, I guess. Or I can throw on Red River, or I can throw on
K-pop Demon Hunters. Amazing. That's an amazing comparison.
I did not like the movie all that much, but
okay. Certainly not Red River.
I'm more so just kind of scratching, just like why do I have any connection to K-pop, which I do for years. I mean, when I buy new speaker tests, I use two K-pop songs to test my speakers.
That's fantastic. And 100% true, people.
Yep. That's my theory, my Hawksian K-pop theory.
Listen, I'll support it in the sense, it just even generally have how like women characters are written in anime, and I'm not talking like fan service stuff or anything like that, but like strong female characters written in anime, it works because... I don't know. At least let's stick to K-pop Demon Hunter specifically.
Sure.
I feel like, again, a little bit of slapstick, the silliness, and maybe even breaking some of that girl persona to, when they eat on the couch and whatnot, and things you would never dream of seeing these pop stars do.
But still girly girl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is the camaraderie between the three of them. All of it works. All of it is so dialed in. And I feel like that's, again, where my praise for the trio specifically in working for this IP, not to business it up, but like, where this has legs for more and more and more. I feel like they really hit it out of the park when it comes to that. So, but I feel like I have no idea on that note what the plans are for what I'll say is the inevitable sequel. I don't think anything is formally announced.
Something's happening, whether it be a show or whatever.
But yeah, exactly. There's more gas in the tank to run with this. Personally, I think I would like to, not that I really watch it, but personally... being able to kind of appreciate this movie, I would love to see a TV show spin-off of this so they can just make a modern Sailor Moon, have a new monster every week. Maybe it attacks one member of the band or something like that. You have a little thing, and I feel like that is where like this could really have some legs to run with its inspiration.
And it will. Play. I mean, if they're going to branch off, maybe you have Sam Mendes come in and make one movie per K-pop girl. And then we get 3 movies out of it.
Your references are wild this week. You need to be controlled, Sam Mendes.
I'm on it. That's what I am
He's
right now.
Dialed in.
I'm 4 cups of coffee.
Let's talk a little bit about music-wise of this. Music-wise, this basically sounds like the K-pop band Blackpink, which I think if I said anything bad about them, the entire country of South Korea would rise against me.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of leave it at that.
We love Blackpink, don't we?
Right, yeah.
Blackpink is
Blackpink is solid.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying.
They're one of the songs I test my speakers with. You're just saying what? What are you just saying?
No, listen, I'm just saying... No, I don't know if I'm saying anything.
Okay,
I do not want to anger the K-pop stans as part of this,
Okay.
Dipping a toe into it. I would say the one thing I wanted to comment on is how the songs are tied into action or storytelling, and basically being like animated music videos. It feels like the creators of this, successfully so, were definitely taking a lot of notes on what the company Riot does with their flashy music videos. If you don't know what Riot is, it's attached to League of Legends, but their most successful example of this being Arcane, a massive Netflix hit in its own right, and worthy of a lot of praise too. I haven't actually checked out Arcane, but I've heard nothing but like universal praise.
Is that an American-based anime production, or did
I
Netflix
think
outsource
Riot
that too?
is South Korean, I want to say.
Okay.
As it is tied to League of Legends, the game. But I don't know for sure. Either way, though, it seems like they were maybe not copying homework, but definitely taking notes on how to incorporate basically just full-on animated music videos into a story structure.
And action scenes, kind of.
Without, like, pausing it. I think here in this movie, I think it was pretty key to some of the pacing and where it felt like it had a lot of energy. And at least in the way that when music took the focus, it didn't waste your time in the story department, which I appreciated as well. Also, another thing where it's like, I was kind of looking side-eyed at Disney. It was just like, this feels like an evolution of classic Disney lessons from the 90s golden age, the 90s renaissance, where songs were the story content, Not just, it's a family musical, we got to plug in some songs, and then the songs suffer because of that reason.
Okay.
So
I'm cool with that, where we had old school Disney, now Netflix is bringing it into a more modern era of the music-based.
Or Sony Animations,
Right, exactly.
Just to cut Netflix out of it.
Now, one thing when it comes to yes and no. I mean, Disney really, back in the day, they made their bones with music that stays through today.
Sure.
No one's going to be singing the words to the K-pop songs. I think you're putting them on a bop to them. You're gonna boop and bop.
Yeah.
I would say 50% of the songs are whatever, and 50% of them. As soon as it started, I was like, oh, I kind of like this. This is very Blackpink-ish. It's not every tune that they play. Right. I'm not going to say this doesn't. I'm sure the music is being played by many households still.
Yeah.
But it's my thing of like, those songs back then really, with Disney songs, really, they say something. They have a message, and it's kind of more heart to them. This is like, let's have a rager. Let's party.
Sure. I think some degree of that, though, is like what hits for the generation. You know what I mean? Our classics as we grew up with them. But I totally get what you're saying.
We're just spitballing. We're just talking. Well, we're nitpicking the film, but in a good way. Because,
here in this movie, though, again, I think... Again, these animated music videos could have been really mishandled. Could have been just like a pause to the story, and instead were, again, a key piece to blending the story department with what they want to accomplish with the musical side of it, and didn't halt either of them. So this was really charming, though, really cute, and I would say really genuinely funny. Folks, I think it shows how animation needs personality and inspiration above everything, and when it has those ingredients, it can do almost anything. Director Maggie Kang put so much of herself into that inspiration, and I personally can't wait to see what she gets to lead next. We're going to go ahead and give K-Pop Demon Hunters a 77.
Oh, wow, a 77.
Good movie.
I'm glad we finally watched it. I mean, we had a producer on our back wanting us to watch it, and I've been holding you back. Because of Vin's interest in it.
And seriously, like, again, that interest is not for a love of K-pop. It's a love of animation. I feel like this has like just so much personality and takes so many classic cues of classic cartoons, Looney Tunes almost principles to it, and then of course anime and like overreactions and all of that. The fact that was done, if anything, I point to Sony again in the ways that we've talked about with like Into the Spider-Verse of like what they're doing to blend 3D and like very classical animation techniques. That's where it's at.
Yeah, and talking about pacing in films with both of those, with this and then with Spider-Man as well. Okay, 77%. I mean, that's one of the higher movies rated this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Excellent, Vin. You know what I liked about this? This had two actors doing a little bit of voice acting, at least. We had Yoonjin Kim and then Daniel Day Kim,
who
plays Jin and Sun in Lost.
Yep.
Which I really just appreciate.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you caught that.
Yoonjin Kim looks amazing, by the way. She's in her 50s now. She's like beautiful. She's absolutely, it's stunning. Okay, all right, K-pop Demon. I'm not going to go to Two Shoes.
I'm curious what gets in Two Shoes this week, actually.
Sat through the whole thing and was watching it.
Yeah.
It couldn't grab me. It was cute. I totally see why it's like a firestorm.
Sure.
And still in, like I said, a lot of households. I think it's still top 10 movies. It's constantly in the top 10 of Netflix like that, but for the past months since it came out.
Well, that's where I feel like there's something to be said about the match of the medium with the service. And the fact that you can just put this on repeat. Kids can have their obsessive movie with this movie and just have it on constantly. The sing-along
thing is super smart, too, to have that karaoke aspect to it. That's huge. And also the fact that anime is having a moment in the past 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're getting more of a market. And honestly, that's a lot to help out with Netflix. Or a lot to point to as far as why that is.
Absolutely.
And Netflix hitting anime pretty hard. Okay, all right, let's go to a very different and small film.
Yeah, all of these are. This is pretty drastically different.
This next film is PG-13, only an hour and 42 minutes. It's called Train Dreams, like we talked about. It did come out at Sundance and then got picked up by Netflix for release. The director is Clint Bentley, who we don't have much of a relationship with. And its main star is Joel Egerton. We also have Felicity Jones playing Gladys, his wife, and a couple other familiar faces. William H. Macy probably being the most familiar face.
Wait, genuine question. Is it Joel Edgerton or Egerton?
What did I say?
Egerton?
Edgerton. I guess.
Egerton?
No, it's Edgerton.
Edgerton.
That's my bad. He plays he plays Robert Grenier. Like I said, Felicity Jones plays his wife Gladys Grenier. And Vin, why don't you set up train dreams, and we'll take it back and forth.
Well, I think it's interesting that this is the classic case of something being released in Sundance, given a small theater run, and then land in streaming land with it. Hopefully that theater run is enough to give it some qualifications, because I feel like this is, not as a slight to the film, in Oscar bait territory.
A little bit. It's being talked about more than what I thought.
Yeah.
And it's made some people's list.
Yeah.
It did. I mean, Netflix gave it the 2-week Netflix run, and you need the 2 weeks to be Oscar eligible.
Yes.
So,
yes.
yeah, it will. It's, yeah.
Yeah. And as far as, like you said, we don't really have a relationship with Clint Bentley. This is the second film for him. He is a writer and director. This is actually just following him writing 2023's Sing Sing, which we never got to on the podcast. But honestly, it might be something circling back for, because I think Bentley did a great job with building up the emotion of his characters here in a natural and naturally heartbreaking kind of way. That absolutely continues into this film, and I would be shocked if we did not see it again in some capacity come Oscar season or award season.
For one reason or another, yes. Yeah. I also want to take a note on Clint Bentley. Not only directed, yes, he did write this film.
Yep.
He co-wrote it along another guy called Greg Quadar, and then it's also based on a novella as well. But so he's directing and writing on it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and Train Dreams is adapted by that novel of the same name. It is a rural American period drama set in the first half of the 1900s and arcing into modernity through the eyes of our lead character. We follow the life of Robert Grainer, played by Joel Edgerton, a logger, a railroad worker, and a true wilderness man, kind of like they just don't make them anymore. A man of few words, he reflects on many aspects of life, most of all the characters he comes across along the way, and at very least, his quiet time is spent longing for the wife and daughter he leaves behind for these harsh jobs of old. For mere dollars on the day, Robert risks his life to fuel the endless hunger for lumber, sometimes giving him the means to provide, but other times simply to pass the time in big chunks of his life. But all throughout it, Robert can't help but feel the shadow of death loom just out of sight, following him until life tests the grit he has built up his whole life in a traumatic way. For both Tom and I, folks, we have a very good friend that was and still kind of is a logger. And I feel like that...
I wasn't expecting this.
It genuinely set a baseline of kind of the enjoyment of seeing this, like, old profession and how, like, scary dangerous it was. It certainly helped at least my appreciation of just how crazy dangerous this old work really is, no less back in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
I love that they explain what a widowmaker is. You know, that's always been like a little party conversation I had. Maybe not that good of a party conversation. Now that I'm saying it out loud. But the story does just plenty to show this. And I think for me it hit a little bit more just having some context of just like, wow, this is... I mean, the film does plenty to communicate how harsh this living is. And how alienating the woods is.
Yes, yeah.
But I feel like I had just a touch more appreciation for it just because of this personal connection. I don't know.
Oh, that's very sweet. Well, I think maybe not so much as me. I probably have watched some more, maybe there's logging stuff online, and there's some incredible video footage of early 1900s stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then in the 20s and 30s of specifically Pacific Northwest, where this is taking place, and seeing actual guys do it, and it's insane. It's insane. It's just funny having dreams in the title, because there is almost a dreamlike fairy tale aspect to it with the film, in my opinion, where yes, we do see some roughness in the world, but there is a tale aspect to it, a fairy tale aspect to it a little bit, where to me I wasn't getting grit and quite realness to it.
Okay.
I think it was a little nice dip into the world and mix that with some great cinematography. It was just a joy to be in that world.
Yeah, yeah.
So really enjoyed it. I don't know how real I thought it was.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Interesting.
But I mean, it was a joy to just be encapsulated into this film.
Yeah, yeah. I like that perspective a lot, and why it is called Train Dreams ultimately. I mean, it is, not stream of conscious, but we definitely blip around in what stands out to Robert's life. So I think I love that that angle.
I mean, to me, it did have a feeling of, and maybe it is just a cinematography doing, but the storytelling, the narration of the film, which normally, I don't know, we're going all over the place on your notes probably.
No.
But between the narration of the film as well, and it was very storybook-ish.
Yes.
I don't know, it was nice, and that cinematography, the look of this film really set you up well, in my opinion, and it captured a vibe. And I, in my opinion, held you for basically the whole thing.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where my biggest appreciation for this movie is as well. I mean, a little bit in setting, but a lot in cinematography. I feel like for that setting, it's a much simpler time. It comes with more than a few layers of danger. I feel like that danger is obviously implied by his line of work, but also in just some inherent lawlessness of the wild at the time. You couldn't exactly call this a Western or even a frontier story because of the time period, but many scenes capture of what I feel like makes some of those settings compelling for me, of just there are dangers to the woods for real when Robert was isolated, when he's surrounded by people. Yeah. There's a bit of uncertainty when he is around people.
It is a Pacific Northwestern.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
Because it's very, just that, it's almost like you can't not shoot a good-looking movie in this part of the country.
Yeah.
But you're right, it did capture that time frame, that time period of turn of the century, 1900.
Yep.
It's very cool time period.
Absolutely.
And to be shooting in that location.
We've even touched on this in the late Westerns that we've talked about, it's the dying West of that concept. And again, this is not a Western. I wouldn't even call it frontier, but has a similar scent of danger to it, just for how scary isolated it is.
Yeah, and what we're doing is because logging and him working with the logging and trains and stuff along the railroad, we're seeing a guy who is basically making himself irrelevant because he is the one who is helping build the future.
Yeah,
which
love that.
He's really not a part of.
Absolutely, and that's you're so right. That is present in so many facets of this. I mean, early on, the narration tells us about a bridge that he makes, and there's some traumatic things that stick with him for the rest of his life around that bridge, and then 20 years later, that bridge is replaced. So,
right.
I think that's right on the money, Tom. But just some of these camera choices in this movie are excellent. They elevate the visuals so much. I loved some of the slow zooms we get on characters throughout the film, highlighting how they themselves are going to kind of stick out in Robert's long days, the endless days that he doesn't really remember anything over. These are the ones that stand out. They also, I got to be honest, I'm jealous of one specific shot that I've always kind of kept in my back pocket if I ever directed something.
Okay, do share.
They strap a camera to a tree falling on one scene. And again, through
watch Gold Rush.
They're doing it every week.
They're strapping GoPros on stuff all the time.
That's so great. Just watch Gold Rush. Review for Train Troops.
Oh, man.
But I've always just loved this aesthetic of the falling tree kind of going perpendicular to all the other trees standing tall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a really good shot. Very woodsy.
No, it is. And also, it doesn't look like a GoPro.
It's a little bit
the coloring, the fluidity of it, beautiful in the film.
Yeah. You don't have a leaf getting caught in the lens.
There's a show called Axemen. You know what I mean? I'm sure at the time it doesn't.
Maybe I found my comfort watch now. I think this movie is plenty worth checking out, though, for our lead, Joel Edgerton. As not to overhype it, I think this might be his best thing he's done, period.
I don't know how much that's saying.
Yeah, sure.
We know Joel. We see him in a lot of different things.
Yep.
I never hated the guy.
Right.
But do you see him as that main lead? Do you see, we're going to get a performance from this guy?
Sure.
We have not had that until right now.
Yeah, exactly. Right in the beginning narration, we establish this character's life will arc many, many years. And what Joel does to, I don't know, I've been kind of stewing on this and reflecting on the film. What I've come up with is his character kind of feels like a wanderer even in the time he belongs in. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's worthy of a lot of praise, even to the fact that I can't really succinctly describe it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What he does with this character. Feels true to the time period, feels true to the type of real people that we got, in that, kind of what you said of almost self-replacing themselves.
Yeah. It's definitely a quiet performance because that's what the character is. Mm-hmm. So his range is extraordinarily limited.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes, it's very quiet sometimes.
It's like non-acting,
Right. But what he's doing, he just feels like the guy.
Yes.
And it's getting it down. Whatever, that's his body language, whatever it's micro processing he is doing to create this character, it comes across just really, really well.
Absolutely. And sometimes with performances like this, you can almost like say like, well, he kind of just like disappeared into the movie. I think that is the strength and also the purpose of what this story is going after.
It takes a little bit of skill, yeah. As basic as the performance kind of has to be for the character, I think it's, I actually think it's quite impressive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, I could not tell you what I thought his best acting role was before this. I mean, maybe like Black Mass in 2015, but he just really embodies this quiet but tortured performance needed for the character here. I'll draw a comparison to what might be in the Oscar buzz or award buzz is Anemone with Daniel Day-Lewis. A great performance from Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah. But a way of like, he's not blending into the role. It's just Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah. I love to see it, but there's a disconnect
and
here.
And he was that movie.
Exactly.
Not that Joel's not this movie, but people...
Yeah, to the point that Sean Bean kind of gets shafted in so many scenes,
Yeah.
So
it's almost nice that Joel doesn't have a Brad Pitt status acting thing.
Yep.
Because it almost helps him be able to sink into the movie a little bit better.
Blend gives the many again. This story is structured wonderfully by the characters he comes across. Lets them having a little bit of spotlight and have some really standout roles in those little spotlights. I feel like all over this movie are peppered performances that are really great. But his acting is understated but wonderful. The way that he uses the passage of time in this story to craft this character's heartbreak was just flat out excellent. And like I started with, we will just see how excellent it is come award season. We're going to go ahead and give Train Dreams an 80 on the dot.
Oh, an 80 on the dot. Yep. Excellent, Finn. This gets 2 shoes, and one of them suckers are laced up.
Wow.
This was you know what? This film, it was small. It's not like, wow, what an incredible thing. Although 80% is very good. 80% is really good. This movie made me feel.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
To that, I want to go beyond Joel as well. William H. Macy.
Yep.
Bit of a character actor. He's in a lot of different things, smaller roles. It is a smaller role in this film, but I think this is one of his best roles almost ever. Almost since like Boogie Nights.
Oh,
this is the most I've enjoyed William H. Macy on screen.
Yeah.
It wasn't The Running Man. But I'm seeing him.
That's a punching bag for the next couple of weeks.
But talk about one of those characters, that Pacific Northwest classic old school law guy.
Yeah.
Really good in the role. Felicity Jones. Again, it's a smaller movie, and these characters are all kind of smaller and only have limited times.
Yep.
Something about Felicity Jones in a very, again, limited character was fantastic, and her and Joel together was really sold. I just enjoyed her subtlety of the role. I thought she played it really, really well. I enjoy seeing her, but I would rather watch her in this than I would The Brutalist.
Yeah.
Not that she was bad in The Brutalist.
Sure. I'm with you, though.
But I really just kind of liked, I don't know, she took this role, I just really liked her in it.
Yeah.
I really, really did.
Yeah.
And all of the great acting and the simplicity of it, but everything hitting really well, on top of it being just a beautiful looking film, it makes you feel something.
Yeah.
And the story is simple, yet really well told. Narration, again, I can't tell, I don't even know another film that I love this much narration, or where I even like narration.
Sure.
This one was great.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the guy. He's not a nobody. He was in our database already and stuff. But I thought narration was very good.
That's where I was even saying, like, because Sing Sing, what Bentley did prior to this, was adapted from true stories as well. And I feel like there's maybe, I don't know, I want to see him do more stuff, but I definitely appreciated what he was able to do with the writing and then the directing as well, to kind of bring it all together. I feel like he might have a good knack, or at least a good eye for what stories he wants to adapt, to play to his strengths. So, I thought this was really, wonderfully understated in the best way possible.
It was quite a nice, and this was kind of on my radar. I was the one pushing for this. What was did you know anything of it going into it?
I definitely heard hype around this.
Oh, okay, all right.
But nothing specific. Certainly nothing around how the story was comprised of, like, we have Joel, and he's basically kind of coming across different characters, and we gain insight through those characters. That I enjoyed so much, of just like that type of storytelling of a big arc, and we learn multiple lessons around the arc.
And the funny thing coming out of this, it's a good movie when I'm excited to see everyone involved in their next project. I mean, I want to see Even down to the music. I'm excited to see where the composer goes.
Sure.
I'm excited to see where Bentley goes, the director.
Yep.
Joel Edgerton. I'm going to be excited to see him when his name pops up again.
Excited to pronounce his name again.
And then most of all, the cinematographer, Adolfo Veloso, was the cinematographer on this. And his next film, he has 3 in the works.
Okay.
But I believe his next project is called Remain. It's coming out next year.
Oh.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh.
And by the way, shot on VistaVision.
Wow.
So if he's going to be on a DP on a VistaVision shoot, let's just see what we get.
Let's see what Shyamalan.
All right, that's Train Dreams with an 80% and a 2 shoes, 1 lace.
That's great.
2 shoes.
I'm glad you really enjoyed it. I mean, I feel like
it's up our alley a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it was definitely, again, we talked about this recently, Into the Wild, that type of movie where it's so confident in the type of mood and atmosphere it does.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, so, I mean, I couldn't exactly call it world building, but in a similar way, it scratched that itch of just wow, this is so fleshed out. It feels so complete, And
I like it. Even just the length of it, it drops you in this. It just drops you in, and it pings pong you around a little bit just within this guy's life. It's great, really good, really good. Folks, if you like this podcast and the daily ratings just as much as we like Train Dreams, if you would, can you show how much you like it? Can you show what value you're getting from the daily ratings? So here we are totally listener supported. We are producer supported. So anyone who financially donates into the show, into the daily ratings, you can peg a value to it. It could be $5, $500, $5,000, but that is the way that we are supported and keep this thing going. We are not advertising based where we're taking ad breaks constantly on here, or even filling up our website with a bunch of pop-up ads. We're not going to be a payment tier structure or Patreon where we force you to give us a certain amount of money in order to get extra content. Technically, everything that Vin and I have to offer, it's all here. It's all this, whether it's the site, whether it's the podcast. There's no specialty shows or anything like that. Everyone's on their own finances. Everyone's got their own thing going on. And honestly, everyone might be getting some type of different value from the daily ratings. You might be an every week listener, or you might be an every other week, or just a few times a year. So the point is, it's value for value. If you find yourself getting value from what we're doing, if you could, go to thedailyratings.com, head to the donations tab, and there's the big value for value button there. And you just donate in whatever you're getting. That's how we're doing it, because when you do donate in, you become an official producer of the daily ratings. When you financially support a project in Hollywood, you're a producer of the project, and that's how we're doing it here. We also want to hear what you have to say, bring you into the conversation, because that's another way of producing. So when you do donate in, send us a producer note. So you can email us at tom.vin@thedailyratings.com. Your note can be questions, comments, critiques, say anything, ask us anything, whatever you want to say or ask. Being a producer is what it's all about. Like I said, it's a through line to you. So that's how we're doing it here. It is value for value. So the support means the world to us. Again, it's at dailyratings.com. Head to the donations tab. Okay, Vin, let's go on to, we're not going to the theaters for this week, but this was the big whodunit of the year. This is Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. The third Knives Out on Netflix. And like I said, Rian Johnson is out of Netflix now because he's pissed that it didn't get a theater release.
Yeah, apples to apples. You think this same week, because this same week, that top 5 in the box office was nothing new. Do you think this would have had a placing at least in there?
I think, I think definitely this would have played well in theaters, but I don't, the other two needed to be in.
Yeah.
Well, actually.
Oh, like a re-release?
Well, no.
Oh, okay.
I think if Glass Onion had a theatrical release, it would have done very well, and it would have helped this have a theatrical release.
I see.
This time around, if you just go ahead and put the third movie out there, I don't know how many people care now that it's so Netflix-based.
Sure.
And at that point, too, if you're doing a theatrical release, it doesn't have to be this week. It can be whatever week.
Right.
Pick another slow week.
Yeah, true.
I do think it would have done probably pretty well. But regardless, yeah, it's Netflix putting a lot of money into this. I always say that the Knives Out series, to me, feels like the most movies that Netflix is pumping out solely for Netflix.
Sure.
It has a release feel to it. It is talked about. It always has that huge cast which grabs names.
Yep.
It has been designated the best whodunit stuff. We don't care about the Death on the Nile and some of the smaller films that come out.
Yeah, true.
Right?
True. It is the king.
It is right now, at least. So anyway, why don't you get us into it? With Wake Up Dead Man, we'll take it back and forth.
Well, folks, with this, we see Rian Johnson continuing his redemption as a director with the Now, the third entry of his whodunit series, A Knives Out Mystery. And like we commented before, he might be single-handedly holding up this genre revival on his own because none of his competition has seemed to stick around. We commented on this, and actually that's where I listened back to the Glass Onion review and was maybe even interested in like some of the Agatha Christie ones that we reviewed. None of them are around for this revival, and he was the one that sparked it and now seems to be the only one left to hold it up. Agatha Christie and Sherlock Holmes be damned, for some reason, the southern draw of Benoit Blanc has grabbed audiences enough to probably continue on to a fourth film in no time, but nothing announced formally just yet.
Legally, I don't know how that would work.
Interesting.
Netflix wanting to keep the death grip on that.
True.
Probably.
True. I'm happy to say, though, my own track record with these movies has been equally gaining some momentum. With the original Knives Out not breaking the mold enough, I gave it a 40% way back.
Holy shit.
Pre-podcast. Yeah, I still don't really like Knives Out. But Glass Onion, I would say, shaking off some of those genre cobwebs, being so bright, being so colorful, and us giving it on a 68 on an older episode. Again, you can check that out if you want to hear our old thoughts on it. Well, where does that leave our new entry? I think it's easily the strongest out of the trilogy, but not without some snags of its own coming from our director directly.
Okay.
It's really his style that, again, the axe was grinded and chopped Rian Johnson in half in the last review for Glass Onion, and I feel like some of that still haunts this here.
Wow, okay.
So,
but easily the best. That's what your reaction coming off of it.
Maybe not easily. I do think it is the best in a steady ramp
Has
up.
the most pros.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Wake Up Dead Man is the expected whodunit with a healthy dash of absurdist comedy through its massive cast of characters. Once again, it takes a sprawling mystery that leans into the obvious, only to pull the rug several times in a way that unfortunately only bloats what was really working in the film. We patented the term double gotcha in our last review in Glass Onion, and I would like to bring that back. I mean, we haven't had a lot of whodunits to talk about it, but I feel like the expectations of a double gotcha in these mysteries kind of burdens it. You know what I mean? It's almost like you got to subvert that to a certain point, even though the double gotcha is saying like, oh, well, you thought this was going to be the case. It's actually something else.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's almost Johnson's, that is his self-expectation coming into this. Our locale this time around is Chimney Rock, a tight-knit Catholic commune that is led by the brash Monsignor Wicks, filled with his own obsessive flock of different walks of life and drastic reasons for sticking around. Rather than lead our investigation by our crack detective, Benoit Blanc, the stage is set by Josh O'Connor, playing a new priest assigned to Wick's fanatical church, looking to turn things around with only pure intentions. But the more he tries, the more he gets entangled in a soon-to-be murder case that impossibly frames him as a killer priest, which only our stand-in Sherlock can get him out of. Rian Johnson's writing, it's a bit annoying here, once again. It's a bit annoying as always. But structurally, I would say it's built up in a much more satisfying way. For every bit of comedy that has kind of a 50-50 chance of landing, and I really mean that. I mean, it is really a coin flip sometime. We also do get a dose of originality in the story that is needed to keep things interesting for our lead detective. I would say mainly this comes in the mix of spiritualism in the story that tests the rationalism of Blanc's methods. And plenty of series like this have gone to the supernatural to create a challenge. If anything, Haunting of Venice is exactly that, for instance. But here it's a little bit more than that. It's a little bit more than just a switch up for the detective. It's much more reflective, and I feel like all of that comes from Josh O'Connor's role as a priest and tag along to the investigation. I feel like something I didn't really pick up on in these first two movies are this tag-along character, this second lead.
Yeah, we basically do get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's Ana de Armas in the first,
Yep.
Janelle Monáe in this, and now it's Josh O'Connor as kind of like the semi-naive eyes we see the case through.
Would you say Josh plays the biggest role out of those three you just mentioned.
Bingo. And that's where a lot of my praise is. I feel like it's much tighter structurally, and it's. I feel like he did a great job. I feel like Josh O'Connor was also the most likable among this whole thing. Had the most meaning to the story as well. Without rewatching the last two again, though, I think there is a much heavier meta spin in talking about the mystery directly here. Glass Onion had some of this. Glass Onion certainly had it in its plot surrounding a murder mystery party for fun and then turns into a murder mystery. But here it is ramped up quite a bit, and I honestly can't decide if I like it or not. Everything from real mystery pulp novels reference to mystery writing tropes like a knife robot mention. The amount of times knife robot is said in this movie. I mean, I like it. It sounds like it's coming from, it's like we're inside on the writer's room, but it's a little bit much. And hell, there's even dialogue outright calling this a whodunit game. All these meta qualities. It just shows Rian Johnson's flavor so specifically. And I feel like he certainly understands his genre at a high level to make these type of, writer's room connections and put it out there. But I just wonder if being clever outweighs what actually works in the story. And I think there were things that worked in this story. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm a little bit torn on the film as well. I'm kind of keep on going back and forth, generally speaking, between this and Glass Onion, because they're they're a lot in ways the same, but a lot different. And in this one, it can be, you're right, it's got his style on it, and it has some wit, and at times it is kind of smart. Yeah. But the problem is it doesn't hold up all the time, and there's crutches, I feel like, being used throughout the film a little bit. Yeah. And at the end of it all, is the payoff meaningful enough to you? And I was a little bit let down, personally, probably by the end or maybe the last 20 minutes or so. I wasn't quite... I was like, okay, he's got a lot of it. He's got it during a lot of the film. Yep. But that wit and cleverness and that his soul writing, I don't know if the huge payoff is there of maybe of what you want. And I think it's just kind of burdensome as well, this being your third one, too. I do think he's kind of boxing himself in a little bit almost. Yeah. There's a degree here that, and this will be really the mud I throw at Rian Johnson for the episode. It feels like he has an expectation that the last ones were so clever and almost like genre reversing in doing this, revival genre to begin with, that it feels like he needs to be clever for himself versus what actually serves the story. Yes. And he almost needs you to say, "Oh, wow, that's pretty smart." Huh? And it's just like, I don't know, that's almost becoming burdensome to this movie franchise. What do you think about kind of, in my opinion? Not that I have huge, deep thoughts on whodunit films, but I do like the idea of things being right in front of you and being placed in a way where it's like, oh, how did I not see that type of thing? Where Rian Johnson can, since he has full control, he will just do stuff and it has nothing. He can just bring in whatever he wants. Yeah. Since he's right, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he can put in whatever twist he wants. Yeah. And sometimes it's not necessarily earned, or he does feel very smart. And a really good one has us on the hook thinking that we have... I don't know.
That's the double gotcha.
I'm having a rough time talking about it, but...
I'm with you 100%, though. I mean, that's the double gotcha. And now, because this has run 3 movies long, it feels like he has to do a triple gotcha. More and more rug pulls. Well, it's just rug pulls for the sake of rug pulls, and I feel like that's where the last third of this movie does not equal the quality of the first 2/3 of the movie.
Okay, so here what I was picking up with the 2/3 of it. Yeah. I know that Rian Johnson... Again, the part of the whodunit is I want to be trying to solve it myself throughout me watching it.
Absolutely.
But then you just kind of get into your head of just like, oh, well, he's just going to keep on throwing shit at the very end. So I don't have to pay attention to anything. And I should just wait till the end then.
Yeah, kind of.
That could be any whodunit film.
I think that
any
is all
mystery
of them.
film.
Yeah.
But to the extent of be smart, I don't know. It just got to a point where I said, I don't have to care about any of this.
Yeah. Now, I think with Wake Up Dead Man, I will say that some of the theming, some of, again, the meta quality to Benoit Blanc being 3 movies deep and trying to give him actually a challenge in some sort.
Right, yeah.
I feel like that's where that first 2/3, they were playing with that, or Johnson was playing with that very interestingly. But it just, the expectation of... It's most likely the first person you expect, and then the rest of the movie is giving you red herrings, trying to do smoke screen to get you off that scent. It doesn't escape that. So ultimately, it's just a rug pull. Like it's just us trying to.
I will say, I don't want to say I did kind of enjoy this film.
Yeah,
like I do want to say that it wasn't crazy basic. You know what I mean? I wasn't being like, oh, okay, he's doing this. It's just that fact of I don't think he gets quite there, where it's just it really hits.
Yeah. And again, some level of obsession. With being clever above all else. You know what I mean? And you can feel that in this.
Can we go to aesthetic real quick?
Okay.
Because I feel like, especially with Glass Onion in this one, once when they realized they had something with the first Knives Out, and they're like, okay, hey, we're gonna pump money into this, which is what they did immediately. I think aesthetic is going to play a lot for as far as which one you liked more, and do you generally like it or not?
Absolutely.
Glass Onion is it's very loud, it's very bright, and very purposely. Dead Man is darker and much quieter.
Sure.
So at times, the reason why I'm going back and forth a little bit, because I do feel I kind of like the story better for this one, but bright and loud can just be eye appeal. I mean, I am watching a Netflix movie at the same time. You know what I mean? I do just want to have a basic movie night because that's what this is supposed to be.
Sure. And I mean, when Glass Onion came out, it was long before we got the trope of Mega Rich Island being a problem, in these movies.
At the front of that.
So yeah, exactly.
But aesthetic, you know what I mean? Aesthetic can kind of play a part of how much you enjoy.
Absolutely.
This is much darker, just color-wise, color palette-wise, and quieter for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a great point though, because ultimately that is a factor in deciding of like which flavor of this story do you want.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And there was something to Glass Onion, even though like I think, for instance, that benefited characters intentionally being annoying so much more than either Knives Out or Wake Up Dead Man. You know what I mean? Where the grimness is like, all right, why are they so silly? You know what I mean? That's almost shows Johnson's style too much.
Okay, that's interesting too.
Yeah.
How about, can I make I've been making some food
You have
analogies lately.
You've been making also.
You've been enjoying it.
I definitely. The Howard Hawks one was a new direction.
Yeah. Okay, but I still, like I said, I landed that plane just fine. I think. Glass Onion is a Sour Patch Kid.
Oh.
Wake Up Dead Man is a butterscotch sucker that your grandmother has in a glass dish. I crave those butterscotch suckers sometimes.
I bet you do.
Okay, all right.
We don't want to go down this road.
Keep going.
We're going to talk about your candy eating habits.
That'll be the new podcast coming out next year. Go ahead. Again, I'm on 4 cups of coffee here.
He's locked in.
I am buzzing.
Well, let's keep it. Let's keep it just kind of general. I didn't have a lot of notes for cast, but let's just kind of do like a cast round robin here with this.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig. I would say it's really no secret. I'm not a huge fan of the Southern Gentleman Routine, but I would say without a doubt, he feels probably the most comfortable he's ever been in this character's shoes. And I think it comes in actually in some of the Rian Johnson silliness. At least for me, it came off the least cringe it's been with this character, Benoit. There's a scene in the car that it's playing like some embarrassing music, and like it actually kind of worked.
Yeah, it did kind of work.
And I feel like
I could have used more of that, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I mean with like momentum. That's just like Rian Johnson feels a little bit more comfortable writing this 3 movies deep. Also, now Daniel Craig feels a little bit more comfortable in Rian Johnson's writing.
And talk about aesthetic difference. I mean, because again, we're summaries. Doesn't wear like an ascot in Glass Onion. With this one, he's just in great tweed suits or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does kind of fit his. It just feels Daniel Craig of this era. This fits him more.
Absolutely. Josh O'Connor, I thought he was really solid here. He's probably my favorite character of the movie.
Okay.
I just feel like it's kind of unbelievable that he was the romantic interest in Challengers, but now when I see him, all I see is live action Ratatouille. Like he's just
That's what everybody's talking about.
Oh yeah, and I feel like this is a lightning in a bottle that's going to get greenlight if it wasn't greenlit before.
Is it because he looks? I only read the headlines.
Yeah.
Was he plays the guy in it? Does he do anything?
No, he does nothing.
He just looks like a mouse. He looks like a rat.
In press, he said he would love. It was like
gotcha.
Is one of his favorite films, and then you hear him and you hear how this character is and timid and even his ears and whatnot.
Yeah, he's mousy.
He's gonna be in live action Ratatouille. I'm telling you. Not Remy. What's the main kid?
I don't know.
We covered it just.
I know, but I wasn't also the biggest fan of that movie. I didn't want to say it again. Keep going. Okay, round robin. Here we go.
Round robin. Josh Brolin. Thoughts on Josh Brolin?
Okay, love Josh Brolin. He is slowly turning into Jeff Bridges 1,000%.
Yeah,
JB
wow.
is turning into JB.
That's good.
I literally was accidentally calling him Jeff Bridges at one point. Thinking to myself while watching it. But he's Josh Brolin.
Yeah, I think
total joy to see him.
Out of the three movies, he was probably my favorite antagonist so far.
Okay.
Certainly beat Edward Norton in Glass Onion.
Okay.
I think that's also a little bit where I see just a steady ramp, in the quality of this.
No, but Josh is good.
Good marks for Jeremy Renner, Glenn Close, Andrew Scott, pretty decent. I would say everyone else, I would really take it or leave it.
Well, wait a second.
Especially Mila Kunis. I feel like Mila Kunis was a burden to this.
For some reason I didn't mind, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind. Who's the Judy Tales or whatever her name is? from the freaking
Judy Hopps.
Yeah, Judy Hopps would have been better. But
yeah, maybe. Absolutely. A little bit more naive.
let me throw something out there. There's a guy, did you say Daryl McCormack?
No.
McCormack? Okay, he plays Kerry Washington's son.
Yes.
He plays that influence. I kind of thought he was funny. I probably thought he was written.
It was a funny character.
He was written very funny. I like the way he played it. And I got to tell you, I'm really liking Elder Thomas Hayden Church.
Absolutely.
So he's in Tires. He plays Shane Gillis' dad.
Oh, really?
In the show Tires. You just a great kind of scummy dad.
Yeah.
He's hilarious in that. And even in this one, if this is not late stage, I mean, it's in the 60s.
Yeah, right.
Want to be nice,
no, I feel you, though.
Kind of digging it.
Yeah.
We've come a long way with Thomas Hayden Church.
A long way from Sandman.
Yeah. Academy Award winner, but still, you know what I mean?
But yeah, I think...
Oh, Kaylee Spaney's in this.
That was a throwaway for me. I think she had some bad line delivery.
Yeah,
there.
You're not wrong. I love Kaylee Spaney, though.
Yeah, I know,
She's wonderful.
Absolutely
wonderful.
Yeah. But I would say the only one that was actually outright bad was Mila Kunis. And
I was cool with it. I don't know why. Because she didn't fit the role at all. She didn't fit. Yet I was fine.
She says a line of some Scooby-Doo shit or something like that. And I was just like, oh my God. Too much.
Did you mention Glenn Close as well?
Yes, Glenn Close I think was in the good. Jeremy Renner, Glenn Close, and Andrew Scott, all decent.
Okay, gotcha.
Pretty
I
decent.
like Kerry Washington too.
Yeah.
That was fine. It's just some of these characters you can only do so much with.
Exactly. And it really is, that's where I was in my notes, I was like, all right, let me just put bullets for, the ones I actually care about, because there are so many. We talk about it in a Glass Onion review where, as far as a Hollywood vehicle, maybe not Hollywood, but these type of movies, whodunits, feel in the 2020s, feel like the replacement for the rom-coms in the 2010s you'd get yearly where it's 12 actors, you know what I mean?
You're kind of spot on with that.
Yeah, it feels like that's at least
either that or Jay Kelly. It's the same deal.
You're right.
But seriously, yeah. I think you're right on. That's spot on.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't mind it.
Sure. It's at least a little bit more creative than those rom-coms.
I do there's got to be some buy-in for me to care about some whodunit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, any Netflix can pick up and do a cheapo.
Yeah.
I want to see these actors in these weird, crazy roles.
Yeah, sure.
So that's what I'm saying. So Rian Johnson writing very loudly sometimes does work.
Yeah.
You almost need it a little bit.
And you bring up a good point because, again, you look at this. He kind of reintroduced or rebirthed the genre, and now he's the only one around still doing it. We have really seen the full arc of this little fad come about on the podcast.
It's not that huge, but yeah. I mean,
no,
Edgar Wright tried it with Bodies. No, not Edgar Wright. What's I'm sorry. I was thinking of Last Night in Soho, which is also not a whodunit.
Yeah, that's
Scratch the Bodies. My apologies.
But no, I'm with you. I mean, even A24 was trying to get in on the trend. Now, where are these movies? I'm glad they're nowhere. But I'm done with them. I've been done with them ever since. Maybe Rian Johnson's quirkiness, maybe it's, you have a distaste for it, but that might be the secret ingredient to why he's sticking around. They're unique enough,
Yeah, they're fun.
So.
And I know you sometimes hate that. But yeah, it's
sometimes
fun.
hate Rian Johnson.
Fun too. Friday night, whatever.
Yeah. Whatever. Folks, though, I do think this is just a little bit too long in the tooth, and as tight as that first 2/3 are, it definitely loses steam by the end. Yeah. Some of this comes from Ryan's obsession with multiple twists, the double gotcha, dare I say, the triple or quad gotcha in this one. And oddly enough, the formula on top of the formula this rips on can kind of become easy to spot, even 3 movies deep. We penned that term double gotcha, expecting maybe some more action in this genre, but it really does boil down to it. It's and piggybacks off of the aspect of feels like Johnson is in the writing room trying to be clever above the story even. So, but in other ways, I think in a very positive way, I think this has. In this same quality, it shows how refined and sharp this trilogy has become, with each entry getting better as it builds on what's expected. Johnson, I really do think, should be proud of the quality across these three movies and the fact that they've ramped higher and higher, which maybe is reason enough to go out on top. We're going to go ahead and give Wake Up Dead Man a 70 on the dot.
Okay, a 70%, and I think that's very fair. I like that this is... Listen, first of all, that long in the tooth comment, it is 2 hours and 24 minutes long.
Yes.
Shave off 15 minutes.
Absolutely. Which, in fairness, all of them are pretty long.
Yes, but like 212, somewhere in that 210 range, that's where you want to be for this, because you're right, it just drags on a little bit. And on top of the aesthetic being a little bit quieter, a little bit darker.
Yeah.
70% says this is a relatively good movie.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of right there, because I recommend turning it on. It is kind of a fun... Friday night, Saturday night hang. It looks fine. It's a new movie. I would watch it more as a platform as far as enjoying these very different characters being played by pretty prominent people. And you get a whodunit film that maybe if you're not sitting there engaged and trying to figure it out for yourself, just watching this story develop and happen.
Yep.
It can be enjoyable also.
Absolutely.
So it is an enjoyable film overall. Yeah, and I think you're right. I think he should be proud of the series. I think it ended relatively strong. And it's a good trilogy. And I think, Netflix did do a good job with this. I just wish that they released it.
Yeah.
Because that first one came out, and they immediately got Johnson and Craig
to lock in with the two
They locked
others.
in for two, yeah.
Sure.
Very smart on their part, because they knew they had something special there.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And I think there is a happy ending for Rian Johnson. I mean, a name... piggybacking off of Last Jedi that was kind of dragged through the dirt. I mean, even to the point that our a couple of years ago now with our Glass Onion review, we were really shitting on Rian Johnson.
Yeah, I still have issues with the guy.
Yeah, but I feel like, again, more and more, we have come out of this trilogy with him kind of comfortable in his own skin. And I feel like Daniel Craig, comfortable in his writing as well.
And apparently he is trying to go back to the kind of those looper roots that he has.
Okay.
And he's going to do some sci-fi stuff or a thriller thing. The movie is written already and done.
Oh, okay.
I believe he's in the middle of shopping it around right now, and he's looking to shoot next year for it.
Wow.
Just not with Netflix. So anyway.
Yeah, interesting.
Vin, looking at these scores, anything you want to touch on? Add, roll credits. Next week, what's up?
I mean, all I'll just say is pretty decent week for Netflix. 2025 has not been...
very true.
Not many episodes have looked like this, where it's just like, oh, yeah, they're all pretty good, So I just,
And very different, too.
Yeah, so, I'm not saying that these are, shout it at the rooftops type scores.
Well, just say it. You love the merger that's coming down the pike. Just say it.
I love Netflix. I don't see anything wrong with Netflix. Next week, though...
Woo-hoo.
3+ hours. I'm going to be watching Avatar: Fire and Ash. Yeah. It's going to be smoking a cigarette in the theater. We're going to be trying to fit in Hamnet, which a la Train Dreams, getting a lot of Oscar buzz, trying to maybe get ahead of actually not doing a catch-up episode this year. We'll see how the cards play out. But really, who are we kidding? Avatar is the big one. So
Avatar is the big boy next week.
I will say I'm happy to see, or rather not see, the turncoats come out again. With Way of the Water, when that came out, everyone was just like, oh, I liked Avatar all along. And you're like, no, I'm pretty sure the internet unanimously was shitting on Unobtainium. So let's not, rewrite history. This one, it seems like at least people are like, I don't know if I was a fan of Avatar the whole time.
Well, we'll see, because it's got the proper release just coming out in a couple days. But excellent, Vin. Well, very much looking forward to that next week. I'll see if I can hop over there and see it with you. Quick jump in, for that quick 3.5-hour film.
Maybe jump out early.
Thanks for the reviews. Thanks for stopping by, as always, Vin. Folks at home, we'll run it down one more time. We have Kpop Demon Hunters with a 77%, Train Dreams with a 2 shoes, 1 lace, and an 80% from Vin. And then we have Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, and that gets a 70%. Oh, actually, I have a question for you.
Oh, yeah.
So the official name is Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery. On the site, should I just put up Wake Up Dead Man?
I think so.
I think I could tag it with that. I think even Google put it like that, right?
Yeah, I think so. Though you bring up a good point, because if there's any going to be kind of legality of him continuing to a fourth film, I wonder if he drops the Knives Out Mystery and then he just...
we can tweak it from there.
Spiritual successor.
Okay. All right, folks. All right. Well, we will see you on Tuesday for the new show, as always. And next Thursday, Christmas Day. Nothing like waking up under the tree. It's a new podcast. It's a new episode of the Daily Ratings. We'll have Vincent Daly back here in the chair. So, everybody, take care. Thank you. And we'll see you next week on the Daily Ratings Podcast. And hey, if you enjoyed the podcast, if you would, give us a good rating or get the word out and tell a friend about us. And just a reminder that the Daily Ratings is completely producer supported. We want to stay away from advertising, and we don't want to have any paywalls or tier structures or subscriptions. It's all just value for value. So, are you finding value in what we're doing here at the Daily Ratings? Then become a producer and donate whatever amount of value that is. Just go to the donations tab on thedailyratings.com. And while you're there, be sure to check out the massive amount of films that Vince has rated. So thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Daily Ratings Podcast.